Hello, hello, welcome to the launch party. I hope you're doing well today. This is as hype as I get. It's like fairly early in the morning, so let me know if this music is too loud. But we're gonna get started here. Thanks so much for joining today. I do have a special launch party coupon. If you missed the earlier sale, that should get you about what you could have gotten yesterday and earlier this week. So, but that's just during this stream. So after the stream, it will no longer be live. So if you haven't purchased the course and you want to, that'll hopefully get you about the best deal you can get. I've got some fun plans today. I wasn't sure what to put on the cover, so I just put giveaways because we're going to do some of that. Swag, we're going to do some of that. Discounts, you just saw that. And I figured joy is maybe just part of the process, so that's what we're doing. You should get $50 off. So if you use that launch party, if that's not working, let me know and I'll change that. All right, let's go ahead and make sure. I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. Got some feedback that it was kind of quiet. Okay. Hopefully you're ready to go. If you have any questions, let me know. I did put a little Q&A. I haven't used one of these before, so I don't know how they work, but looks like you can ask questions about the course creation process. Today I basically plan on chatting over how I created the course, kind of my reason for it, and a couple other things related to it. So if you have specific questions, though, I figured I'd put that in there. We won't take forever, but at least want to take a little bit of time to celebrate what has been now a year. I want to say a special word of thanks, and I should probably actually move my screen over so you can see me. Let me do that here. All right, there we go. Hopefully you can see me. I want to say a special word of thanks to several people who've made this possible. I want to thank my Patreons. I don't mention them a lot because I don't have a whole lot for them, and it's just been a thank you basically to me. But several of them have supported me for a year plus through this course, before the course. Several have just been supporting me monthly for a long time, and it's just at this point a thank you. There's nothing, I don't have time to do extra stuff for them, and I've made that clear up front, and they just keep supporting me. There's just a few real faithful ones, and I want to say a huge thanks. Only here from the left ear. I did set this up new on a computer, so that's helpful to know. Let me make sure I'm getting it coming in both ears. Because that would be really annoying. So sorry about that. Let's see. It says it's right in the middle. So is anybody else having trouble with that? If anyone else is having trouble just with one ear, please let me know. Let's see, is that any better? Maybe? All right, let me know if that fixed the problem or not. Hopefully it did. All right, so I want to thank my patrons, those who supported me. I also want to thank all those who have just watched on my channel. I was never going to, I was never going to do a course like this, but I've had so much support and people asking me for it. I also want to thank my brother. He's a web developer, and it was last September. He said, "Hey, you should just do a course on Astro." And I thought, well, I'm not like an expert, and I'm not sure anyone would want that. But I said, I'll put together a landing page. And I had like 1,400 people sign up saying that they wanted to be notified if I made a course in like 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, that's significantly more. And a lot of that came down to just people sharing it on social media and stuff like that. And then that responded. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Not your AirPod, it was me. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm streaming for the first time on this computer, so if that's the only problem I have, I'll be happy with that. But I want to thank him. His name's John, and he's really skilled as a web developer, and if it wasn't for him, I definitely would not have made this course. I also want to thank some dev friends I've had. One, Christina, has helped me with a lot of the course management and other things associated with the course. She's helped me moderate the channel, and that's made space for me to actually get done what I need to on the course itself. I want to thank my family for the time they've given me to record. Mostly it's just been me asking them if I could have them be quiet for a few minutes here or there throughout the day when I couldn't record early mornings or late evenings. So anyhow, that's a couple of people I wanted to give some thanks to. All right, just one second. All right, cool. All right, if you could comment, I'm going to give away a couple things throughout today. So I know there are only a few people here currently, but maybe we'll have some more. One of the things I'm going to do is give away a t-shirt to somebody, and I also want to give away a free course to someone. So if you can comment below with where you're watching from, and if you just bought it or something like that, I will just reimburse you. So don't worry, you're still eligible. But if you could just post where you're watching from in the comments, and then I'll randomly select. I have a way to randomly select somebody for both the t-shirt and also the full giveaway. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. All right, well, what I want to do is talk through a little bit more of kind of my rationale for the course. This is a special kind of launch stream, and I probably will take it down afterwards because it's just celebrating this, and only those in the moment probably cares so much on it. Hey, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Divepad, I appreciate it. So that was kind of my rationale, what I explained with my brother of kind of why I started to think about the course. As far as how to approach the course, like I had a couple different things in mind. I thought I could just pick a tech stack that I like and try to do that. Hey, welcome. UK, nice. Ghana, welcome. Turkey, Philippines, that's awesome. I'm starting it a little bit later so I can maybe catch some US people too, but I always love having somebody from elsewhere. Hola, welcome. But I was like, I could just pick a tech stack I like and build it out according to kind of like what I want. However, like in the end, like what I really want is to like create something more comprehensive so that you don't have to pick my tech stack to actually get the benefit out of the course. Now, picking a tech stack I like and just building a single project, maybe iterating over a few modules, would have been a lot easier. And frankly, if I did it again, maybe I would do something more like that, just because it's difficult. There's a lot to go if you're trying to comprehensively think about how to, like, how to structure an entire course to explain all of Astro. But that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on the core basics of Astro so that if you took the course, you didn't have to choose my tech stack. You would understand how to get the most out of Astro. I don't know how many of you work with tools, whether that's like carpentry type tools, or maybe you're into baking or some other textile or whatever it happens to be. Everybody has tools for their industry, and knowing how to use each tool precisely allows you to kind of break out of the norm when you need to, or customize stuff to your experience. And that's really what I wanted to produce in this course. So for those of you who maybe are just getting familiar with it, this first whole section is really just on like the core experiences of Astro and how to get the most out of it. So I just actually reshot this entire module this week and updated it as of last night. And then as we move through here, we're working on just Astro components themselves, how to work with Markdown and MDX, content collections, which I need to add some stuff to this to make it fully ready for Astro 5, but it's pretty close, and I've done free content on my channel already for it. Rendering and routing as well, getting into nested and dynamic routes, and then we have this full portfolio site. So at the end of this, we actually walk through all this as well, but you can build this entire site with me. And here you see we've got these projects that you can go to. We have a projects page as well over here with even a little JavaScript filter tools, and mostly using SSR there just so that we can focus on Astro again. We've got a little contact form here that's kind of a fake contact form for now. A footer, we've got a blog with posts in here and metadata. So all of this is basically the end of the first module, and maybe that would have been a good place to stop, but I well know that you need way more than that to actually build out a full site. So what I wanted to do then is to kind of say, okay, what specialty tools does Astro have? And here I'm definitely going to be adding to this as we go. Let me actually make this thing full screen because right now we're not using the code. So image optimization, I've got a couple things I can update here now that they've added some extra things in Astro 5. I got burned early on covering experimental features and having to reshoot videos. So that's why I'm waiting until Astro 5 to just update these. But again, I've done free content on almost everything that Astro 5 has released already on my YouTube channel. These dynamic endpoints, essentially API routes that you can hit. So again, if you're going to be building out really a full stack site, you're going to need to use API routes at some point. AstroDB, which is mostly there, except for the fact that Astro Studio is no more. And so I'm going to eventually reshoot that one video to use Terso. Middleware, which again you need for auth and other things like that, which leads nicely into auth. I decided to cover auth 3 different ways because I didn't want you to just know how auth works, like with Firebase or something like that, or with Clerk where you just plug in something. I wanted you to really understand it from start to finish, how to use it, how it works with Astro. So we cover a very basic example. Then I work with Firebase, then we build out something custom with Lucia, which they're no longer like actively developing, but it's still supported and still up to date. It was just like he didn't have anything else he wanted to do with it. So it still works and is functional. So I don't plan to reshoot anything there currently. View transitions is almost the exact same. They just basically swapped out the name of the component, so I need to update just that one section. But other than that, the whole concept is still the same. And in fact, it's even better because now it's in browsers. So essentially you can get rid of a lot of stuff and just use that browser stuff instead. All right, watching from Turkey, Philippines, Argentina, Australia. Hey, awesome. Thank you, everyone. If you're just joining, if you can comment where you're watching from, I'm giving away some free swag, a t-shirt, and I'm also giving away a free course. And so if you want to comment where you're watching from, that will enter you into that random drawing at the end of the stream. But then I went to internationalization, again, trying to think, what are all the different tools in your toolbox if you're an Astro dev? And I want to make sure that you know how to use them, not just that you can build in the tech stack that I happen to like. We've also got integrations, config options, and this is mostly catch-all category around dev tooling and other integrations, details like prefetching links, different config options, which again, some of these have updated. I didn't cover everything, just things I thought were important. There may be a couple of things I want to add to some of those videos. And then we get into the projects where I kind of say, okay, if we were to pick a tech stack and build something out, what would that look like? So here I show a couple different ways of using CMS. We actually do a basic CMS with Google Sheets, which is not probably something you want to do for a robust site, but it allowed us to explore like, how do we actually like work with CMS data inside of Astro without having to like pick an entire CMS and get it up and running. Now, one thing that's cool is with the new content layer, this is actually even better. It's even easier essentially at this point. So we also work with key static, which is local data. So if you want a CMS that's data that you own in GitHub or something like that, you can use key static. Strappy is an example of using something that comes from like a more traditional headless CMS. So again, trying to show multiple ways of doing the same thing so that you're not stuck with whatever stack I chose. Then we've got this CRUD project, which I'd like to show you here, which is just basically saving books and deleting books, updating books on like what you're reading at the time using an API endpoint. So full CRUD operation here. And then finally a basic e-commerce site, which again, I'd love to show you here. All right, from Australia. Awesome. So glad you're enjoying it, Benjamin. All right, South Africa, welcome. I also put a Q&A if you have questions that you want to ask about how I created the course, even though I've just blabbed for 15 minutes about that. But if you have other questions, let me know, and we'll go from there. And if you're joining once again, please remember to comment where you're watching from, and I'll randomly draw to give away a t-shirt and also to give away a course at the end of the stream. Algeria, hey, awesome. Welcome from the UK. All right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I want to kind of walk you through a couple of projects, and then if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer those, and then we'll end the stream. All right. I know a lot of people who are watching probably have already purchased and are just hopefully excited. Yeah, so let's go ahead and I just want to run this right now, and just to kind of show you what the final new project looks like. I decided not to do anything with CSS in the first module because I really wanted it to be focused on Astro. The first iteration, I spent like 15 minutes or 10 minutes of that video doing CSS. And really, I've tried to keep the CSS and the JavaScript out of it as much as possible. And that way, unless you need to know kind of how to use it, so we'll occasionally touch it, like in that first big project we do it. A little bit in JavaScript, not that much in CSS, because I just want you to know the options available to you. This isn't a CSS course, so I try to stay away from things that just kind of waste your time if you just want to know about Astro. All right, so you can see here what we're doing is pulling in a data file, which is also something else I did, in part because as I've live streamed this year and I've done projects, if they don't give me a data file and I have to like type my own data, it's just a pain in the neck. So I figured this gives you the chance to actually work with Astro and not just be typing data out. Give you a lot of images, and then essentially all we're doing, if I can shut this down, is creating this little card component where we pass in all the data we need, and then we have another little nested component where we pass in additional data. So that's the first kind of major project after the first module. Very, very basic, but we start there. And then what I want to do is transition to like a much later module. And the idea here is to just show you like how complex this eventually gets over time. So let me make sure I got the right module number. Let's see, 158. I want to show you that here. Actually, yeah, let's go there. All right. So let me come over here, and I'm just going to check out lesson 158, I think. Let's just npm run dev. Actually, I'll probably need to reinstall because I think we'll have different node modules at this point. Again, if you're just joining, please make sure to let me know where you're watching from, and that will help me be able to give away a free course and also a t-shirt at the end of today. All right, here's our little library. And you can see here what we've got is local data. If I go to add new stuff, I can come over here and add like Robin Sloan. He's one of my favorite authors. And I'll add this book right here. This is all pulling from an API, and this adds it to my database locally. And then I can mark it as to read, reading, read, whatever. If I come back to the home page, I've got currently reading, and that happens to be this like sample book. And then we've also got like I want to read here, and I can change this status right here. I can view the book. So all this is what we're going to build out in that 17th or 16th module. Where are we at? Yeah, right here, this CRUD application. So let's talk through a little bit of kind of what we did here, if I can remember all the nuances here. So in the pages directory, in this index route right here, you'll notice that we're pulling all of the books from our Astro database. I did not actually like push this up on Terso or anything like that. It was mostly focusing on the CRUD operation, not on deployment. But hopefully when I update the AstroDB module, that'll make sense how to do that. It's not difficult at all. You can see that what we're doing is that we're looping through these and basically creating a new structure where we've got 3 arrays, reading, to read, and read. And then all I'm doing is passing these if there are items in that section, so in reading, to read, or read, to a little wrapper section that includes it right here. And then each of those just passes the book card right here. So that's what we've got showing up right here. So each of these will be their own little card. Again, this is all coming in from our local data. And in Astro, it actually builds it to a .astro file over here where you can see this right here. So you can see I've got this data right here. I've also got the sample data from the seed file as well. And each of these book cards, they display everything here. We've actually got a little helper, this reading select that I pre-created for the module so that you didn't have to do all the templating out yourself. But as you change this around, you just got some local JavaScript here that then hits our endpoint. So as far as how you actually add new books, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the full CRUD operation at that point. But if you go to new, all we're going to do is have this little search section here. If I can scroll down here, and when somebody searches, let's see, right here, we're going to grab the form itself. When somebody searches, we're going to hit our own custom endpoint here at books.json. So we've got 2 endpoints that we're working with, books.json right here. Let me make this bigger once again, and maybe I'll make the text a little bit smaller. Hopefully that's not too hard to see. All right, right over here, we pull this data in. Hey, welcome from Florida. Watching from Sunrise, Florida. Nice. I used to vacation in Florida a lot. Miss it. Hey, welcome Dave from England. From India, welcome. Remember to comment where you're watching from, and you get a chance to win a free course and also a free t-shirt. But here you'll notice that all I'm doing is getting this data. We're getting it from openlibrary.org, fetching that, reshaping the data, and passing it back to the front end. So then over here, once we get back that data, it creates little cards for us right here that then inputs that on the screen. We use event propagation so that when you select one of those, it then goes here and it clicks those and basically saves it, except this time we're posting instead of getting. So once we post, we come down to our post route right here, where we grab the data, the title, all this stuff, and we input it into AstroDB. We give it the status to read, and that's all this new route does, and those 2 API routes do. Now over here, we've got a couple different options. We can either delete the book, or we can also select it, like right here. So if I come in here, this is first for the card, and this same select is also on the route as well. You'll notice I've got this option where we can choose between them. When that happens, I hit a dynamic API endpoint where we come in here to books right here. And first of all, we've got this patch. So it takes this in custom and then basically updates this in our database using the where clause. We can also delete stuff as well. That comes from a dynamic route for the book, where you can delete something, and we hit, again, that custom route if you've clicked on deleting the book right here. So that's the kind of the project, the way I thought through it. Very quick, obviously, if you're not walking through that slowly with me. But you can see how we've gone from something very simple in that first module all the way up to like a full CRUD operation with a database and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we've got in the 16th module right here that I just released a couple weeks ago. Eventually, I'll create a little sample project where you probably won't be able to actually add to a database because I don't want to pay the cost for that, but it'll hopefully just show you how it works. All right, next, let's look at module 17. Let me just make sure I've got the right number here. 172 is what I need. And again, please make sure that you are commenting where you're watching from. You got a chance to win a t-shirt and also a free course. And if you already bought a course, or if you buy a course during this stream, I will reimburse you if you're the one who wins that. All right, welcome from Portugal. Party, yes, exactly. Thanks so much to everyone who's supported and been excited about this. It's definitely a party. Oh wait, I have confetti. See? It's a party. All right, let's go over here. What did I even say? 172, I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's check this out. Lesson 172, and then I think I probably need to install as well here. I might be missing the actual environmental variable I need for this, so I might have to grab that real fast. We'll see. npm run dev. Now, if I come back over here, we've got a new project. Assuming that it starts up. All right, yeah, so we've got a problem because we don't have my Stripe key. So let me grab that. Let me see, first of all, see if there's any questions that somebody has about the course creation process. I don't know how to use these Q&A polls, or nobody's commented all on that. Or you don't know how to use them. Also a possibility. Indonesia, welcome. Let me grab a Stripe key, and let me not dox myself and switch this over. So while I do that, if you have any questions, let me know about the course, and I'll just grab a quick key real fast because I no longer have that here. All right. Apologies as I do this quickly. I didn't think about this one little use case. Stripe. Okay. Almost there. Test data. This is perfect. We're getting there. API keys. All right, let me just make sure I've got what I need in here, and then I'll be set and ready to go. Any questions anyone has while I wait? Let me just check over here. Hey, from Brazil, welcome. What did it mean? That's all I got. All right, let me make sure that I'm getting the right thing. All right. Sorry again for this. All right, almost there. All right, we're so close. All right, hopefully this will now work. Let me get this back up and running, and I'll switch back over. All right, we're working. Thanks for your patience. Sorry about that. Okay, so over this way. Let me make sure I get everything back up and running so I can see if anyone has questions. Guy living in Sweden. Nice. Which part of the course was the most fun for me to design or teach through? I think mostly as I got towards the end of the course, when I felt like I was getting near the end, that made it more fun. But also, like, the full projects were way more exciting than just like showing how to use content collections and like little bits and pieces. whatever it is in me that wants to build out like full everything every time I build anything was dying during all those sections, but I do think it was helpful to limit it. All right, finally, sorry for the delay there. This e-commerce site is what we built last. So we're going to use a bunch of things, including the new Astro content layer here as well. So you'll notice I've got a bunch of pins that you can buy. You can view them, and then you can purchase them. So we'll like add this to cart, and it does it up here. And then you can add extra things if you want here. I'll come back here and like add a galaxy pin, and we'll add this to cart as well. Add a couple here, and then you can check out. And as soon as you check out, it hits the Stripe API. Right now it's just using, sure, whatever. Right now it's just using a test mode here, but I can do whatever I want. And let's do like a card 4.2 or 2.4. I can't remember. 2.4.2.4? No, that doesn't look right. 4.2.4.2.4.2. That's the test key. 10.26. Doesn't really matter what you do there. 1.2.3. Chris, that works. We'll do like, sure, 8.4.0.1.5, whatever that is. All right, so what I can do now is pay for this, and it'll actually take me through. No, that's a fake credit card. And it will actually pay here. Let's see. No. I thought I hit pay. Okay, here we go. So it'll process this, and then it basically will track me, say my name, say that it sent a receipt here, even though it doesn't because it's fake right now, and then go back here and everything's cleared and set. So that's what we're building out in the final module, which I'm really excited about. Hey, welcome from the Netherlands. If you're just joining, make sure to comment to get a chance to win a free t-shirt or a free course. And if you just bought a course, I'll reimburse you, and that could be your free course. Again, a reminder that down below there's a special key just for this stream. After the stream's done, the code will be gone as well. All right, let's go through this, and then we'll be done. And we'll give away special things using my super technical random selector thing. All right, so over here you can see in our index route, let me open this up. All we're doing is awaiting products from a collection. Now you might say, well, I can't use Stripe with content collections. Well, now you can with a content layer. This is currently using like a beta of Astro, of Astro's content layer, but it's the same in Astro 5 currently. So if I come over here to content, you see we've got this config where we have a collection that's using the Stripe loader. So the Stripe product loader just loads this in, and then we actually shape the data to only get what we actually need. So we've got both the products and the prices coming in using our secret API key that I had to go grab real fast. We'll come over here, and then for each of these, we just pass it to a product card. At that point, it's pretty easy because it's just a content collection. You just have data. It's already typed. You just put it all there, right? When somebody clicks on one of these products, then it takes you to a custom page, this dynamic route. And in the dynamic route, all we do is loop through or find this product in our catalog. If there isn't a product, then we say get out of here. Otherwise, we show the product down this way. Now, the way that Stripe works, you get products and you also get pricing. You saw that just a second ago in the content. Now what we're going to do is use a little helper function here to basically calculate that based on what the price is. So we go fetch the pricing entry based on some data we get from the actual product. And then we output that down below. So this is the only kind of oddity here. And now we've got a couple of custom things. Here we've got an add to cart button. And we're using just local, or just vanilla JavaScript here. Hey, welcome from South Africa. Mostly because what I want to do is focus on Astro and not on like a UI framework, although I do use React in a couple of modules. But here I'm trying to stick with the basics, and that way we're really thinking about Astro and not about a UI framework. So I'm using some custom events so that when you click anything with like a data cart, it adds it to the cart. It just looks up the ID and then figures out if you want to increment it or decrement it, and using this action data attribute. So there's a couple items here. Let's see this global TS that does a lot of that stuff. So like figuring out the quantity whenever the cart is updated. This is our custom event listener that we listen for. And then we've got increments and decrements to add to cart or remove from cart. So all of this is actually stored in cookies for us. So that way it's accessible on the server. Because as I go into certain places, we're going to want to have that, and I can't have access to local storage, and I didn't want to do a full database for this, like a separate database. I figured it would be good to connect it to the actual browser itself without making the person have to like log in. So that way, if they come back later, they still got products in their cart. All right, so back over here, these product cards, as you add them to your cart, you eventually will get to the checkout page right here. Cart. Let's go here first. Cart item, cart page. All right, so in the cart page, all we're going to do is look at that cookie, which Astro gives us this nice little helper, and I need it to be accessible up here because as the page is loaded, we're using SSR in this site. Then I want to basically calculate it. Oops, if there is nothing in the cart, then it should say your cart is empty. And actually, I think it returns you. I can't remember. No, I guess it doesn't. It just says your cart is empty. But you have no reason to go to the cart if it's not there, and I think you have to manually type it in anyhow. Then it just loops through all these items. For each cart item, it gets the final price, and it can grab that from the product. So it's fetching it actually from Stripe's data, not from like some local stored data. So that way you can't corrupt that. And again, we've got the same kind of custom event listeners on these buttons. Then the cart itself, you check out, and that brings you to the checkout flow right over this way, where I basically figure out how many cart items you have. I get a checkout session from Stripe, and that's how we populate that. There's 3 different ways to work with Stripe, so I kind of chose the middle ground. So instead of fully building out something custom or just like going to their site, we instead embed a form. But you can see we've got like client secrets for that particular session, your public Stripe key, and then we're running here using the JavaScript SDK for Stripe and loading this. When somebody then checks out, so we're mounted here, when somebody actually checks out, it can redirect us somewhere and is redirecting us to the success route. So if I go over to success, you'll notice the first thing I have to do is pick off the session ID, because what I want to see is that they actually checked out. Now, once they check out and they get that session ID, let's see right over here, this Stripe replaces with a custom session ID for that session, for that checkout session. So if I come back over here, I'm grabbing that and then using the Stripe SDK to figure this out, right? So I'm actually going to figure out which session it is and retrieve the data for that session. And then if there is no data, we redirect. Otherwise, we come in here and we actually show, we delete the cart items so there's no more cart items in the cookies. And then we also grab the name of the email, and that's all I'm displaying down this way. So it's a nice like flow from start to finish using just client-side JavaScript. And again, especially if you're here early on, you see how easy, like how simple we started, and now at the very end of the course, you're building out like a full e-commerce store, albeit very, very simple without any auth. And there's a couple of the things you obviously want to add. Hey, Sid, you're welcome. Yep, libsql. You can use that to reduce database load, especially on its server. I'm not sure if you're responding to me or somebody else there. All right, I think we've covered everything I wanted to talk about today. Thanks for sticking around for those of you who have. We're now ready to give away a shirt. So let's see. I would need actually, let's start with a course, and then I'll find the name for the person for the shirt. But for now, the course is going to go to, and if you're watching, if you could let me know, I don't have a way to contact you. I will try to figure out like if you have a YouTube channel to comment on it if you're not watching. But let's see, we're going to use Elakim Daniels from Ghana for the course. So I'll send you a free coupon, but I do need you to send me your email. So send me an email and I will respond to you. Otherwise, I can't give you a free course. And then let's see for the t-shirt. Sorry, I have to randomly generate this. I will let you choose whatever t-shirt color you want, and I'll ship that to you. I just need an address, obviously. So if I give this to you and you don't want to give me your address, then you can't get a t-shirt. So hopefully you don't mind. The t-shirt is going to be Cybuck 2002 US. So from Florida. So if you can also email me, both of you can email me at chris@learnastro.dev. You can find that on my site as well, learnastro.dev. Let's see, where are we over here? Let's see, where can you find me? If you go to frequently asked questions, right here, chris@learnastro.dev, and just make sure you email me and I'll happily give that to you. Hey, welcome from Michigan. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. One more time, just for kicks. There's a little celebration confetti. I'm glad to have this out. I'm now ready to actually like re-record a bunch of sections or a couple sessions, and I want to add things like server islands and a bunch of extra stuff, but I wanted to finally launch the course with what I had planned, and then I can't help myself. We're going to add to it. I do want to mention real fast, by the way, if anyone has already purchased the course, I've got this new module now where I'm just keeping track of any time I update a lesson or a section of lessons. So like here you can see I updated, let me move it this way so you can actually see, I updated lessons 1 through 9 yesterday. Here's why I updated it. Here's whether or not you should rewatch, and here's what changed in the lessons. So that's essentially one thing that changed in what I explained. So I'll do this every time I update something in the course. I don't know if it resets your progress over here because I don't have control over the platform, and I didn't have a chance to test it. So hopefully it does or doesn't, whatever you prefer. Yeah. All right. Well, if like I said, Elakim Daniels from Ghana, and then Cybuck 2002 US. Please make sure you email me at chris@learnastro.dev to get your giveaways. Everyone else, thanks so much for following along. I'm really excited to have launched this course, and I wish you all the best in learning Astro. All right. Well, you know what they say. Happy coding.